Hey you guys, welcome back to the Bougie Black Girls YouTube channel, or welcome if you are new. My name is Dana, and today we are going to be getting into some tips and tricks for 2024 vision boarding and creating a vision binder like we are going to be doing today. So before we get started, please be sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe, and let's just dig right in. First and foremost, I definitely feel like I have to address the elephant in the room that is the 2023 Vlogmas attempt. And there's really not much to say other than that, creating content, creating videos, really anything is tough work. I think people say it all the time, like you don't really know how much work and effort goes into production of any kind until you have to do it yourself. If you've been with us, if you're new to us, I appreciate anybody for kind of checking in and sticking around at any phase. And I'm looking forward to a little bit more consistency and a little bit more of an intentional approach for 2024 now that I've done some of that experimentation. So I say all that to say, I'm really looking forward to what's in store and approaching 2024 with a little bit more consistency. And that's going to transition us really nicely into what I have for you guys today, where we're going to be putting together our vision binder. People really do have mixed feelings and mixed, I think, ideas about vision binders, vision boards, manifestation, and I totally get people who are not fans of it, especially if you're kind of a product of the gaslight, gatekeep, girl boss era of the internet like I am. I think I have a little bit more of a pragmatic approach, a little bit more of a practical approach to vision binders and vision boards. And so hopefully this video is helpful for you to make it a really useful tool that will help you and help kind of guide some of your thought processes throughout the year, as opposed to this, collage that you maybe look at once or twice and never really get to do anything with. So today I'm going to be creating a vision binder instead of a vision board. I think you can do either one, but I personally prefer a vision binder because it allows for the document to be a little bit more interactive. So I'm able to add some supplementary pages. I'm allowed to have some more individualized pages. And it also allows me to kind of take notes, do tracking, kind of use it hand in hand with my planner. So it's actually something that I can go back to and visit again and kind of see how I'm progressing through different goals throughout the duration of the year. So with all of that being said, I do have some very specific rules I give myself while I'm creating my vision binder that I would like to share with you all. First and foremost, I don't include anything in my vision binder that is not a tangible and realistic goal that I can accomplish within one calendar year. A lot of times I think people go wrong by putting the 20-room mansion with the 10-car garage and the fully sponsored trips to Dubai in their vision binders. And those are all great things to aspire for, but you have to think about the intentionality of what you're making. If it's a 2024 vision board and you don't make, an 8-figure salary, probably a 20-room mansion is not within your future within this year. And so scale it back. What are the steps that you would need to take this year to achieve that goal 20 years from now? That's also really going to help you when you're doing progress tracking. And so taking a step towards your goal of, cleaning up debt or maybe having a certain amount of money in your savings account, that's going to feel like a closer step, and it's going to feel more validating and like you've accomplished something way more than it is if you have to track how close you're getting to, goals that are maybe 5 or 10 years in the future. My second vision boarding rule is that I only put things on my vision board that are within my power to control. And a lot of people kind of struggle with what that means, so I'll give you an example. So for an example, let's say you have goals around your relationship. So I see a ton of my friends, a ton of people I know put things on their vision board like, I want to be married by this time. I want to have a proposal by this time. And I think that's great. I think having goals around relationship and love are super important. But again, that is something not super dependent on another person. And so you can't really have a goal set of you want to be married by X date and not take into consideration the fact that there's another living, breathing human being who also has goals, plans, timelines, things like that, that may differ from what your plans are. So instead of saying, oh, I want my boyfriend to propose by this date, by the end of the year, put it in your vision board that by the end of the year, I'll have clarity on the direction my relationship is headed. And so that way, you know that, by the end of the year, you need to have some conversations. You need to see where your relationship is headed in that regard. You can also have some conversations with yourself about, okay, what does my life look like? What does my romance kind of situation look like? Am I setting myself up to get the things I want, like marriage, kids, things like that, if it's something you want? The next rule I have for myself when I am developing my vision binder is only using things that I already have within my reach and within my home to create my vision binder. And this one really is super duper optional, but for me, it's a really nice symbolic way of reminding myself that I have a lot of the tools that I need within my grasp to achieve my goals already. And so it doesn't require me to go buy a bunch of stuff, to get a bunch of new fancy equipment, to get a bunch of new resources to make real tangible progress within my life. And last but certainly not least, my final rule for myself when it comes to creating a vision binder is to really keep it personal. Keep a lot of the things that are in there, a lot of the things that I'm working towards, very personal to myself, and to keep them private and not share them with other people. Something that I feel like is a personal flaw of mine is I think I share a little bit too much when I'm excited about something, when I have an idea, when I have a project. I think I'm a little too eager to share it with other people because I'm creative. It's fun, and creativity to me is a shared collaborative space. Creativity is often how I have found community in my life. But I think the mistake with it is I will let people kind of insert their ideas and perspectives before I can really firmly decide what it is I want to do with it and how I want to approach it. And so sometimes those additional perspectives, while oftentimes super well-meaning, will throw me on a tangent that I just wasn't prepared for. So those are the vision board, vision bindering rules that I have for you guys today. With that being said, let's just go ahead and get started and get it built. So today I'm going to be using Canva and Pinterest to create the vision binder. Two very common free tools. You've probably seen a ton of people utilize them for creating their vision boards. It's going to be really simple. I'm doing one statement per page for the binder. What I do is I just search in Pinterest for that term, that phrase, that sentence, and find pictures that kind of match the vibe and kind of remind me of those things surrounding that goal. So my first goal for the year surrounds a lot of things regarding space and relocation. And so I just hopped on Pinterest, typed in searches for images and aesthetics that align with that. And I'm just getting them arranged over in Canva as a nice little collage. Also remember that Canva does have free images and graphics, so you can incorporate a few of those if you think that fits as well, like I did here. And Canva is super user-friendly, so if you're not familiar with the tool or resource, do not worry about it. You can definitely catch on pretty easily. Once all of the arranging of the collage is done, the only thing I do afterwards is just kind of get that statement attached to the vision board. And so this goal, which is the first one I'll share for you guys here, for me for 2024 is to move out of Florida. So I'm just typing that very plainly out on the page that I'm creating, and so I'm just typing that out super plainly on the page that I'm creating, and then this page is done. And I'm going to replicate that for all 10 of the goals that I'm going to be including in my vision binder this year. Once all of the creation and the collaging is done, I get these printed out on individual pages. I like to utilize black and white. That's kind of my aesthetic, but do whatever fits your vibe. And then I'm going to get them inserted into these screen protectors. I actually realized that they were a little too big for the screen protectors that I had, so I'm just kind of trimming the edges, but still making sure that I can see all of the words and all of the general gist of the pictures here. And feel free to utilize whatever you want. So if you don't have a printer, you can utilize magazines, construction paper. You can even bust out some pen and paper and draw everything if that's more your vibe. Whatever's going to work for you here. So once all of that is trimmed, I'm just getting them inserted in the screen protectors, like I said, and then I have to just stick them all into the binder. And this is what everything is starting to shape up to look like once it is finished. As you can see,
Everything is really organized. These also have little divider markers in them so I can easily navigate from one page to the other. And what I like to do is insert a little bit of paper behind each of the cover pages. And this is what makes it a little bit more interactive. You can do some note taking. I can start making lists. I can do progress tracking, journaling, whatever is going to help me as I do my check-ins, which I do about bi-weekly, just to see how I'm progressing towards my goals. And you can see what you've done so far and which goals maybe you're neglecting and need a little bit of work. For any larger goals where you need a little bit of extra space, I tend to have a couple of blank notebooks on hand. So again, this part is completely optional as well. But for those notebooks, I kind of just stick them right in the back of the binder, and I'm able to do some note taking. And this is really good for goals where you're doing a little bit more studying, like language learning or skill building.
And there she is. I'm so glad that this is done. This is really going to help me step into 2024 with some peace of mind and some clarity. And like I said, I can't share everything that's in here, but just a couple of bird's eye view things to hopefully give you guys some ideas and perspective. I am happy to share. So the first thing, if you listen to the Black Girl Roundtable podcast, or just know me in personal life, you know that this has been on the list for a while. But the first thing in my vision board is it's time to move out of Florida. I have really enjoyed living here a lot more than I thought I was going to, but I originally only planned to be here for 2 years and I'm going on year 6 now. So it's time to move. I think my heart has always belonged in the northeastern region of the country. So I will be looking at moving in that direction, definitely in the first quarter or so of 2024. So stay tuned for any updates on that as I can share. Second, I talked about this a little bit in the video, but now that the Bougie Black Girls has been around for some time, the podcast has been around for some time, the website is kind of in a little bit more of a stable place. I really kind of just want to refine some of the things that we've been doing. I want to develop a little bit more consistency as far as posting, as far as scheduling, and really kind of get some of those behind the scenes things down to a well-oiled machine. I want those to be locked and loaded and ready to go so I can look at ushering in some other projects that I have in the works for the year that I'm not quite ready to share just yet. So the third thing I will share with you guys is that I want to do some more traveling in 2024. And this one is super simple, but it's really important to me to get out there and explore more, both in the United States and outside of it. It's a big, beautiful world out there, and I think I'm really ready to start seeing more of it. So I have already got my first trip of Q1 of 2024 locked in, and I've started planning some trips for Q2, some solo travel within the US. So now I just need to lock in Q3 and Q4, but that's gonna be really important to me to both take a break every 3 months and also just get to explore more, get to meet new people and experience new things. And the last thing I have for you guys that I will share from my vision binder, again, it's a 12-page thing, so this is only the first 4 that I'm sharing with you guys, but number 4 is a big one for me. I really just want to do a better job of taking care of myself in general, physically, mentally, emotionally. I want to be able to do a better job at home, in-house, taking care of my needs, whatever they may be. And I think as Black American women, we always talk about this on the podcast. I talk about it everywhere, honestly, that it can be very difficult unlearning some of those behaviors of putting other people before yourself as a woman, especially as a Black American woman. And so in 2024, I just want to do even better and get a lot more intentional with my practice of not doing that and putting myself first whenever and wherever it's appropriate. So yeah, that is the vision binder. As an addition to it, completely optional, I do like to make another version, a digital version of kind of like the bird's eye view of what I'm working towards, and set it as my screensaver on my phone and my computer. And that just helps kind of guide my thoughts throughout the rest of the year. And I also check in with my binder, I would say probably about once a week, once every other week, and just write down some notes. It can be like a journaling practice, just of what I've done, what I would like to do, materials I need, money I need to save, debt I need to clean up, anything like that. And also even just some to-do list. It can be super high level, it can be super granular. The binder just helps you track your progress. And at the end of every month, you kind of just see what goals are going well and which ones maybe need a little bit more attention. I hope all of you have a fantastic 2024. Happy New Year. Thank you for subscribing to the YouTube channel. Thank you for checking out this video if you're new. Would really appreciate it if you give it a thumbs up as we're trying to grow the channel, and subscribe so you don't miss any updates. Keeping in mind the fact that some of those big picture, high level goals we want to keep to ourselves. If you have any more simple goals that you feel comfortable sharing with the community so we can all be inspired by each other, definitely comment them down below. I would love to hear a little bit more about some of the big picture things you guys are working on, and hopefully we can all be inspired by each other and encourage each other as we build our community. That is going to be it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching again, and I will see you next time. Bye.